the former coach of Nebraska, Scott Frost. He just can't help himself, guys. And look, I think some of it was like anything he said, no matter how he said it about Nebraska, is not probably going to come out well. And that's exactly what happened. The Athletic, Chris Vanini, got a couple quotes from him. And, you could read the quote here. I said, I went to UCF unless it was someplace you could win a national championship. I got tugged in a direction to try to help my alma mater and didn't really want to do it. It wasn't a good move. I'm lucky to get back to a place I was a lot happier. And look, that's one of those things, we know he probably was thinking at the end all along, but saying it now going on 3 years later, it just doesn't come off very well.
To say the least. Now here's I'm not going to defend Frost because this is not what you should say, but this is what he means. I mean, he's the one, I guess, faint praise I would give him in this situation is it is genuine. Sean and Rob, we were talking a lot during this period, and I was talking to people directly linked to Frost and Frost at times himself. There's no question that it was going back and forth. There were times I'd hang up the phone after a long conversation with someone and think, he's not coming. I don't think he's coming. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people just felt like, I think that there's a perception that, it's a done deal. Frost will go to Nebraska. It was never really like that with Frost. So he's not being disingenuous. He's just being kind of stupid to say it. Like Rob, you always have things in your life, especially with your wife, that you kind of want to say, but you just don't. You're just smart enough not to say it, right?
Yeah, pick your battles sometimes.
Right. Yeah,
and that's kind of defined for me that like comments like that are what his entire tenure at Nebraska were. Like just go over his very first media days at Nebraska. Well, the Big Ten's going to have to adjust to us. You start off like that, right, pissing off everybody in the conference, and then look what happened. Like I think that's just who he is. Like he just he's I don't want to say tone deaf is the right way, but like know the moment. Like okay, you're going to get asked about Nebraska. Obviously, you're back in the spotlight as a head coach. Like have a canned answer where you're like, yeah, you know what, that was the past. I'm focused on the future at Central Florida. We got great things ahead. Like I please respect that. Okay, it's over. But like he couldn't help himself.
No, he
had to continue to talk about it and bring up old things. And what he said doesn't bother me. Yeah, he took the wrong job. Nebraska hired the wrong guy. Like it didn't work out for anyone involved.
No, it didn't.
But just end it.
Close
the book. Yeah. Like don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be back in the headlines, dredging up a really difficult time for you and for the former job that you worked for.
Yeah, there's a way he could have been like, it just didn't work out. It's unfortunate. I wanted it to work out, but I'm happy that I got this new opportunity back here.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I think most guys in his profession would do. But again, it's not Scott. Like that's how he's always answered those questions and I think a lot of what rubbed people the wrong way is if he's going to like dig back into that, like have some humility and like talk about, well, I didn't do a good enough job, or like maybe put some of the blame for why it didn't work out on you. But it was kind of a continuation of what his entire career here was, where it was always somebody else.
He doesn't take ownership.
Right. And I think that's what bothers people so much about these latest comments is that, again, one more final instance of Scott passing the buck as opposed to putting the blame, which he had very much of it on his shoulders, on himself.
He needs to grab a golf club. You need to grab a golf club, go to Golden Tee, and think about what he's saying.
You're talking about a guy though that's never failed before, and his whole life. I think a lot of people that are at his level of athletics probably aren't used to failing, but he had never failed. When you go back to what he did at Oregon, what he did at Nebraska, and just all the places he's been before he got back to Nebraska, he had never really experienced a level of failure like this before, and I'm sure that was hard for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure it was, Sean. He hit this unfortunate trifecta. He kind of botched his way into Nebraska. Then he totally botched the job by going 16-31, 5-22 in one-score games. And then he botched it on the way out too. I mean, he just now he really, if I was counseling him, I'd say just no more on Nebraska. And if you do, show a level of humility that's a little more acceptable. Now he might say, screw you. I'll do what I want. I've made a lot of money. And that's another thing. He made a lot of money here.
Yes,
he should show a little bit of gratitude, I would think. Right.
Mhm.
I would. If I walked out of here with 15 million,
Right. It's not like he's a martyr for taking this job. Like he got paid handsomely. Like this was an opportunity that many people wanted, and it was all set on the table for this to be like the golden child returns, the savior comes back to Nebraska, brings a program back to greatness. It didn't work out, but then for it to end the way that it did, and now like you're continuing to like say, well, it wasn't my fault. That's where many people have a problem.